As much as we try to move away from technology, like things like AI, honestly, as a homeschooling mom, content creator, media company owner, AI has helped me a lot. It has helped me organize ideas, structure content, find fun ideas for me to do with the boys at home, move through life a little less brain fatigue, okay? And then this season of life, efficiency matters at times. But I also take a short break from constantly relying on it. I realized something that stopped me in my tracks when I do that. I wasn't losing productivity, I was slowly losing space to hear my own thoughts. And that's when I realized the real conversation isn't about quitting technology, it's about making sure you don't lose your voice while using it. So, in this episode, I want to talk about creativity, discernment, motherhood, faith, and how I'm learning to use AI intentionally without disconnecting from myself in the process. Let's get into it. Welcome back to Navigating Postpartum Wellness podcast, where motherhood and wellness meet faith, presence, and honest conversations. From Navigating Postpartum Wellness Media, we unpack the real work of motherhood beyond the highlight reels. I'm your host, Dre Williams, writer, founder of Navigating Postpartum Wellness Media, and a mom of two. This space is for every mom who's carrying the weight of expectations but choosing to build softer, sustainable rhythms of wellness. Together, we'll talk about the inner work, breaking cycles, finding balance, and leaning into God's vision for your life. Because you're not just raising kids, you're raising the standard of living. If you have ever felt overwhelmed but deeply called, there was a point where I realized something felt off. Not wrong, not bad, just different. As someone running a media company, homeschooling, documenting life, creating content, managing ideas, and balancing motherhood, AI became an incredibly helpful tool for me. It helped me organize thoughts, kind of give dinner ideas, structure content we needed, brainstorm ideas, improve my workflow, and move through my day more efficiently. It's like an assistant for me when I need it. And honestly, I still use it, but I like to take breaks from it as well. And recently, during a short break from constantly relying on it, I realized something important. The issue wasn't AI itself, and I'm going to tell you why. The issue was making sure I stayed connected to my own voice while using it. Because a lot of times you can see people start having AI create everything without you actually having your own thoughts. And I love that AI can help with efficiency in the sense of when I need to quickly brainstorm, like, okay, what can we eat for dinner, or like a craft to do with the boys and things like that. But I also don't want it to take my brain cells away from me thinking, like, constantly relying on it. I want to still be able to still use my own thoughts, because while tools can support you, you should never completely replace your ability to think critically, explain yourself, sit with your own thoughts, create from your own perspective, and trust your own discernment. And the realization changed how I approach creativity completely. Because I love efficiency, especially in this season of life as a mom and business owner, but having support tools matter. Sometimes I genuinely need to help organizing ideas or creating structure around thoughts that already been existing in my head. But what I started noticing was this: sometimes you can move too fast that you don't give yourself space to fully process your own thoughts before refining them. And that matters because not every thought needs immediate optimization. Some thoughts need time to breathe. Some ideas need quiet before structure. And sometimes the thoughts you have, you really don't have to move on them, right? Because some moments require you to sit with your own understanding before outside input starts shaping it. And that's why I had to intentionally reconnect with my own voice, not to reject technology, but to make sure I was still leading the process instead of becoming dependent on it. For example, if I have a thought, sometimes I have to write it out on paper, y'all. Sometimes I have to just go old school, get my pen, get my paper, and just write out my thoughts and structure it so that I can create my articles for you all on NPW's website. Because your voice cannot be replaced. As much as we love technology, it cannot replace your voice. And this season has been less about removing tools and more about creating healthier boundaries with them. Because I still use AI as a resource for tools such as getting ideas for the kids, or trying to organize my homeschool thoughts, or notes, or even if I just need to create a brain dump. It helps me with that because it helps me improve my flow and simply simplify the repetitive tasks. But I try not to let it replace. I don't let it replace my storytelling, my emotional process, my relationship with God, my critical thinking, my voice. And it's a great tool, but do not depend on it in a sense of you start to only use AI. Because creativity is not just about producing content faster, it's about staying connected to what makes your perspective unique in the first place. This isn't about rejecting technology. It's all about making sure you stay rooted in who you are while using it. Tools can support you, they can simplify life, they can improve workflow, especially as moms who always have tons of tabs in our head. AI helps us organize those tabs when needed, but I also don't want you to forget that you cannot go wrong with pen and paper at times, but let's still be efficient. You feel me? But your voice, your perspective, your discernment, your creativity, and your relationship with God should still remain at the center. Sometimes growth looks like leaning on God, but learning new systems in the process. And sometimes growth looks like showing. I'm speaking too fast. And sometimes growth looks like slowing down long enough to make sure you haven't disconnected from yourself in the process. And if you have not signed up for the newsletter before we close out, make sure that you hit that link in the description and join us. And I will talk to you in the next episode. And remember, you can be efficient, but don't lose your brain cells. Thanks for spending time with me on Navigating Postpartum Wellness. If this episode spoke to you, I'd love for you to leave a review and check out the resources linked in the show notes, from quick wellness guides to my membership community, the Aligned Mama Collective, or better yet, come join me inside the Aligned Mama Collective, a space where moms like you are choosing faith, rest, and presence over hustle. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a new conversation. And if this episode encouraged you, share it with a friend who might need it too. I'll see you next time.